Roger, copy. Agena very stable and no noticeable oscillations. Very good.
7 minutes 20 seconds. Mike Collins in Jess suggested we conclude this simulation and proceed with the debriefing, which normally follows that type of activity. This, of course, is no simulation. 7 minutes 35 seconds into the flight, and from all appearances, we have achieved, we certainly achieved an 87-mile perigee. Flight Dynamics just confirms, without passing on any numbers, that all of his values look good. Eight minutes into the flight. The flight director now querying the Flight Dynamics officer, asking him for any peculiarities of the cutoff conditions. Flight Dynamics says it may have been that he was perhaps 5 feet per second low on his cutoff, well within tolerances, however. We have now the conversation of the tape conversation during the liftoff phase. It's minimal conversation compared to past Gemini flights. Most of it coming from Young. You hear a comment or two from Collins. If the tape is ready, we're checking now. It is ready. We'll roll that tape for you now.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff. Roll program is started.
Roger, on roll.
Roll program complete.
Roger, complete.
Program is started.
Okay. Looking mighty good. $50 seconds.
Almost too late.
Roger.
Cabin seal 5.9.
5.9, roger. One plus 40.
Remote 2.
Roger.
Update received.
Roger, update. Roger. Roger 10, you're go for staging.
Roger, 10 is go for staging.
Roger.
Update received.
Roger on update.
Good Pico, good Pico.
Roger. Thrust looks good from here. Ken, we will not update your data these. Never mind.
Roger, yeah, guys, looks good.
Roger. Everything looks good from here.
Good here. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you're right on the lines there.
This is Gemini Control Houston. Our initial data on this 10 flight shows the spacecraft to be in an orbit 87 by 146 nautical miles. 87 by 146. That's 1 mile off the planned value in apogee. The spacecraft is now over the central Atlantic. It should be in touch with Ascension shortly. We're 13 minutes and 52 seconds into a flight which at this point has been as clean or cleaner than any Gemini flight we can recall. The precise seconds on the liftoff was 26 seconds, which was our planned value. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston. We're 29 minutes, 37 seconds into the flight. And the spacecraft down over the southern Africa going across for the first time. And Gemini 10 follows the Agena 10 now by 850 nautical miles. Trailing the spacecraft is the Agena 8. Trailing by about 500 miles in this three-way race around the globe. And we hope the spacecraft hopes to see both of these Agenas as we move through the flight. We expect the next major status report to come from the Carnarvon station. Carnarvon to acquire at 49 minutes after the hour. I'm sorry, 49 minutes elapsed time. Presently showing 30 minutes elapsed time. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston. We're 44 minutes, 38 seconds into the flight of Gemini 10, and we've had no contact with the crew since they left the Tananarive area. We did not talk to them over the Tananarive station. We will talk to them about 5 minutes from now via Carnarvon. Their maneuver table for this first rendezvous calls for a first maneuver at an elapsed time of 2 hours, 18 minutes into the flight. The duration of that burn will be 52.4 feet per second. It will be a phasing adjustment. According to the present arithmetic, no height adjustment will be needed. This was taken care of with the IVAR burn as they left the second stage of the Gemini launch vehicle. Their second maneuver would come at 2 hours, 29 minutes into the mission. This would be a plane change. It's presently calculated at 9.2 feet per second. That maneuver at 2 hours, 29 minutes into the flight. At 3 hours, 47 minutes into the flight, they would perform the Coelliptic maneuver, this requiring 52 feet per second. At 4 hours, 34 minutes into the flight, they would begin their terminal phase period, and this would require a burn of 33.4 feet per second. And their terminal phase final maneuver coming at 5 hours, 07 minutes into the flight with a burn of 45.3 feet per second. Their onboard fuel supply presently shows something a little over 900 pounds of fuel remaining. If each maneuver is carried out precisely as planned, they would still have 699 pounds of fuel aboard. This spacecraft, of course, carrying 200 additional pounds of ohms fuel, sometimes referred to as the super ohm system. That's the best advice we have on the maneuvers to come on this first Agena, the Agena 10 rendezvous phase. We're 47 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. This is Gemini Control with Houston. This is Gemini Control at Houston, 49 minutes, 56 seconds into the flight. And as I started talking, Carnarvon raised 10, and the first words their report was that that spacecraft 10 was go. It should be a talkative pass. Let's follow it as it develops.
2, mark. Make that 50-15. Let's try that all over again, huh? Full force. I'll give you a mark on 50-30. 3, 2, 1, mark. Roger, okay. You want to set it up? No, it's okay like it is. Okay, I have an Agena vector update for you. Roger. We're ready to copy. GET state vector 13800. 13000708. 14655505. 7532108. 7682396. 1716007. Do you copy? We're happy. Okay, we got you. Roger. We'll be standing by. Have nothing else for you.
This is Gemini Control Houston. We're following the conversation as the spacecraft moves across Carnarvon for the first time. We should get additional information on accelerometers, other systems performance during this pass. We'll go back and monitor.
Carnarvon from flight.
Flight.
Be sure to give us an LOS summary, Jim.
Roger.
Carnarvon from flight.
Go ahead.
Have you put those SBCs in the Agena yet?
That's affirmative.
Okay.
And they are verified.
Roger.
How about X-ray summary, Carnarvon? For
We've
Agena.
cut the tape and it's on its way.
Roger.
Flight, Carnarvon.
Go ahead.
Okay, on its O2 tank pressure, it started off at our AOS at 590. It's down to 566.
Roger. Carnarvon, mention it to the crew. Can have them bump it up.
Okay. 10, Carnarvon. Roger, your O2 tank pressure is dropping a little bit. Kind of keep an eye on it.
This is Gemini Control Houston. During this lull, it's worth noting that surgeon reports that both pilots during the liftoff phase showed a heart rate of approximately 100 beats. 100 beats on both Young and Collins. They commented that this is extremely low and a very is the first flight we can recall where both pilots ran about the same rate. Let's go back to the Carnarvon Pass now.
Roger.
That's about what we're seeing here.
Yes, accelerometer last check. Please go to work. Negative. Vacant flight.
Those stack currents are about what we're seeing here, too.
Roger, we noticed quite a bit of fluctuation there, it looked like.
Is it in the TM or in the measurement?
In the TM.
No, I mean, did you see anything happen to your TM at that time?
Well, we got a bunch of red lights on all the stack currents. Suddenly.
How's it look now?
Looks all right.
Okay.
They're a little higher than they were before, but they look okay.
Okay. Would you send us a Gemini main, please?
Roger, Gemini main. 10 Carnarvon, we're through accelerometer bias. Roger.
TM Aeromed.
Go ahead, Aeromed.
Roger, I just was advised by surgeon that the blockhouse reported the data was very clean without any of the squiggles we're seeing. I was wondering, this of course gives evidence for the fact that it'd be an internal problem rather than a spacecraft problem.
Well, Roger, how are you noticing these biomeds now from Carnarvon?
They are still the same quality as before, with a lot of noise.
In other words, they are more noisy than they have been.
Not more noisy, but the noise is still much greater than we've lived with before in the past.
Okay, Roger. Well, we'll definitely check this out here right after Carnarvon.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Give me a call when you have something.
Roger. We'll have a display up there shortly.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Surgeon TM.
Go ahead, TM.
Okay, just one more word on this. We've been fighting some noise.
This is Gemini Control Houston. Carnarvon loss signal has lost approximately 6 or 8 seconds ago. And they will be refining the data they took on an accelerometer bias check over that station. If any updates are needed, if any undue bias is noted on the onboard accelerometers, it will be fed into the onboard guidance system either over Hawaii or during this first stateside pass. The general feeling here is that the accelerometers appear to be right on the money based on a first cut look at the launch data. At 59 minutes and 16 seconds into the mission, this is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 1 hour, 53 minutes into the flight. The spacecraft now down over the Ascension area in the southern Atlantic. In the past, just completed across the states, 4 things showed up worthy of note. For one, we found we do have a communications problem between this control center and our Guaymas station. The situation is that we hear Guaymas quite clearly, but they do not hear us. We can hear the spacecraft through Guaymas, but again, we could not remote through Guaymas. This problem is being worked on and very likely will be solved before the next rev. During the course of the pass, the ground noted hydrogen pressure dropping somewhat. The crew was advised of this and it was suggested to look at their circuit breaker panel, and they did find a heater circuit breaker open. This was closed, and the pressure has started climbing back to the proper value. It should be running at about 220 or 225. Also, based on Hawaii readouts and based on crew solutions, the onboard solution has been very carefully compared with the ground solution, and the principal events, the times of maneuvers, were found to be on the order of 1 to 2 minutes different. Therefore, the flight director ruled that the onboard solution was no-go. The crew will perform with the ground solution. Also, in the course of the past, John Young noted 2 bright objects in the orbital path of Gemini 10. He said they're going right along with us, and shortly after he reported this, he advised us they had just disappeared. Young said he guessed that they were satellites of some kind. He did not say how far away they were from the satellites, nor did he describe their size. We've got the tape of the stateside pass, and we'll play it for you now.
Guaymas has Gemini Agena, TCM solid.
Okay, Guaymas, and work the crew on your path. We don't have anything special for him. Confirm that he did get the maneuvers that we read up to him and is satisfied with them.
Okay. Flight away.
Go ahead.
He said he switched microphone positions.
Okay. Okay, that helps explain it. Guaymas from flight.
Go flight.
One more thing, we've had some indications of a module indicator changing. Would you take a look at that?
Sure will. Gino, looks good, flight.
Roger. Hawaii from flight.
Hawaii.
Did you have any trouble at all with the telemetry? Did it appear noisy?
Negative, it looked real good. The
Okay.
only problem I had was I misread your message.
Okay.
One for me.
Guaymas from flight.
Go ahead, flight.
Take a look at the H2 pressure. Thinks it's dropping. It's possible that we popped the circuit breaker on it.
Okay, will do. We've got Gemini TM solid. We read about 182 flight on the H2 tank pressure. Houston flight, Guaymas.
Go ahead.
I can hardly read you, flight.
Okay, if you're reading 182.
Houston flight, Guaymas, I cannot copy. Would you repeat one more time?
I'll talk to Guaymas on voice data. Guaymas, Capcom.
I'm copying somebody.
Houston AFD got a voice conference.
The voice, I'm copying you loud and clear. What's flight one?
Stand by, I have to get a make good. I've lost my conference circuit.
I can read you barely, flight. Go ahead.
If the hydrogen pressure is 1...
I cannot copy. I repeat, I cannot copy. Houston, it's July 10, over.
Go ahead, Gemini 10, Houston here.
Gemini 10, Guaymas, Capcom. Read your last prayer, complex. Roger.
Houston Comtech got a voice. You're about 2 by, and I'm trying to get conference switched to 58294.
Visuals down to find a good place for it. Okay, did you copy all of the update from Hawaii? Roger, I'd like to for you to go through them again, though, because we were in a hurry in here when they were talking to us. Okay, you want me to give you all 3 of them again? Roger, go ahead. Okay, phase adjust. 21809. Address 2500562. A burn time of 1 + 16. Plane change. GET of the burn is 23022. Address 2790095. Burn time 0 + 13. To Coelliptical 34734. Address 2500479. Address 2690091. Burn time 1 plus 05, do you copy? Roger. Okay. Okay, Gemini 10, you're looking pretty good here. Houston Flight Guaymas, we've had LOS.
You're still passing me loud and clear, Guaymas.
Is that on net 1, Goddard?
Affirmative.
Okay, Houston Flight Guaymas, I do not copy. His circuit breakers had opened. We had him close those. Okay, he did not have his maneuvers. We passed him up all 3 maneuvers. Stand by and I'll get you a reading on that H2 tank pressure at LOS. H2 tank pressure at LOS still reading 182 flight, but he did close the circuit breaker.
10, Houston here. Hi, Roger. We're standing by here. You got your maneuver load all right, and your pressure seems to be coming up on your hydrogen, all right?
Say again, over.
All right, your pressure seems to be coming up on your hydrogen now that you got your breakers back in.
Roger.
You got your maneuver load okay from Guaymas, is that affirmed?
Yes, could you say again the delta V of the time of the phase adjust, over?
Okay. GET, do you want the GETB or the burn time?
The GETB, over.
Roger. For the phase adjust, GETB 2 plus 18 plus 09.
Roger, we got it.
Okay. You might watch that hydrogen heater circuit breaker, that cryo heater circuit breaker, to see if it comes out again. 10, this is Houston. We won't need to update your accelerometer bias. It's okay.
Roger.
Okay, you did copy us on the keep an eye on the heater circuit breaker?
That's affirmative.
Okay.
ALS Antigua. This is 10, Houston. We got 2 bright objects up here in our little path. I don't think they're stars. They look like we're going right along with them.
Roger. 10, Houston.
10, go.
Roger, your ascent solution is no go. TPI is about 9 minutes early, and Coelliptic is approximately 9 miles.
Roger.
Where are the objects from you?
Roger.
You can get us a bearing, maybe we can track them down.
They just disappeared. I guess they were satellites of some kind.
Roger.
Lost acquisition, Grand Turk.
This is Gemini Control, Houston. That concluded the stateside pass. There was an attempt to contact the crew over Ascension. The conversation, however, coming back was unreadable. We will turn this tape over to the transcriptionist to see if they can make anything out of it, but we could not understand anything that came back from the approximately 2 minutes of acquisition. The Agena controller reports a slight rise in the temperatures of the C and the S-band transmitters aboard the Agena. They are not alarmed at this, but they are watching the rise. It's a slow rise at this point. The C-band is showing 127, the S-band 144. These temperatures on the 8 Agena, The past experience showed stabilized out at about 153 after a fairly gentle climb. That pretty well wraps up the situation at this point, 2 hours and 4 minutes into the flight of Gemini 10. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 2 hours, 14 minutes into the flight. The spacecraft has been in touch with the Tananarive station. We'll have that tape for a conversation a little later here. To update things, the Gemini 10 spacecraft now trails the Gemini 10 Agena by about 400 nautical miles. In exactly 3 minutes, the crew is to perform their first maneuver to lead to the rendezvous with the 10 Agena. This will be a 55.5 foot per second burn, small end forward, and the effect of this burn will be to adjust the phases between the two vehicles. The crew did advise us during the Tananarive Pass that their orbital determination check was no-go. This is the check in which the crew sights on stars, yaws around in all planes, and attempts to determine their orbit by star sighting methods. We do not know precisely why the orbital determination did not work out, but they did advise it did not work. Here now is the tape via Tananarive.
Dan Houston standing by.
Stuttered voice, AFD. Can't you key UHF?
Go ahead and try.
Roger, Gunner. Tananarive is remote.
Dan Houston is standing by.
Roger, the RP turn factor was no-go. Even though the residuals were, they didn't get any bigger than about 3/10 or.
Roger, I read orbit determined no-go, and you were blurred after that. Okay.
Better voice.
Carnarvon, this is Houston Flight. Do you read?
Flight, Carnarvon, go ahead.
Okay, we copied over to Tananarive that he was no-go on the orbit determ. We fully expect him to burn the maneuver we read up the ascension station. Besides the normal flight plan items, see what you can get on by way of a report on the burn from him, and confirm that he did the burn that we read.
Okay, that's that phase adjust, is that affirmative?
That's correct.
Okay, you want me to uplink this plane change?
Stand by on the plane change a minute, and I'll let you know what we want to do about that.
Okay.
This is Gemini Control Houston, 2 hours, 29 minutes into the flight. Over Carnarvon, which is still in contact with 10. Young reported that he had completed his phase adjustment maneuver without difficulty. He checked the time of his next maneuver, which is to occur about 1 minute from now. This a plane change maneuver, where he will burn 9.6 feet per second in a short burn to make the planes coincide. And as we've been talking, Carnarvon lost signal. This is Gemini Control, Houston. This is Gemini Control, Houston. 2 hours and 44 minutes into the flight. We've had no contact since the Australian pass. We can assume the circularization maneuver has been completed. And our charts show the spacecraft now lagging behind the Agena 10 approximately 350 miles. The next maneuver is planned for 3 hours, 47 minutes into the flight. This will be the Coelliptic maneuver. And Hawaii is due to, it's a plane change maneuver just completed, not the circularization maneuver. The Hawaii station is to acquire Gemini 10 at 2:49, some 4 minutes from now. This is Gemini Control, Houston. This is Gemini Control, Houston. We're 3 hours into the mission. The spacecraft now lags behind the Agena 10 by 250 nautical miles. And during this upcoming stateside pass, the crew should acquire the Agena 10 radar lock-on toward the end of the pass, somewhere east of the Texas station. The range then would be about 200 miles. A few minutes ago over Hawaii, we had this conversation.
C-band track on Gemini, Hawaii.
Roger.
That first Agena summary we sent you may not be too good. We're getting a lot of dropouts. We're going to send you another one.
Roger. Hawaii from flight, are you seeing the SPCs clock out?
That's affirmative flight. They're clocking out.
Roger.
And we have telemetry solid on Gemini.
Roger.
Gemini 10, Hawaii, Capcom. Gemini 10, go. How you doing? Just fine. Okay, you're looking pretty good here. I'd like some data how you did with your plane change. Roger, 80 minus a tenth. 81 plus a tenth. 82 is minus 5 tenths. Okay, I got that all right. I'd like a prop quantity readout, please. Roger, reading 84%. Roger. Okay, all your constants look good. They're going to give you an NSR solution over the States. Roger. What module do you have loaded? Roger, Miles 3. Okay, thank you. Flight away.
Go.
Okay, did you copy the plane change data?
Affirm, prop quantity 84, module 3 loaded.
Right, it doesn't correlate here on the ground.
Yes, I understand we've had some trouble off and on doing that.
Roger.
Because of the Modi's in. Did you get all the L beacon, bright, approach, and ACK lights on, the Agena?
Hey, firm, they all clocked out on time.
Okay. Okay, looks good, Hawaii.
Okay, he's looking real fine.
London.
10 will be standing by if you need anything, just give us a shout. The 10, Roger.
Hawaii from flight.
Flight away.
Al Bean and CC got here 1 rev later than Gemini 10. Came the short way.
They wearing their blue suits?
Affirm.
you ought to do one of these days, everybody ought to show up in orange flight suits, matching colors. Everything looks good.
Roger.
S-band LOS at Hawaii.
Roger, Hawaii.
You're prime.
Hey, Roger. Agena LOS at Hawaii.
Roger.
And all systems Gemini LOS at Hawaii.
Roger.
AFD wireless.
This is Gemini Control, Houston. While the tape was playing, the Gemini 10 spacecraft has come into the Guaymas area of acquisition. The ground simply noted they had acquired them, and the crew rogered back. There's been no additional conversation. We'll pick it up as it occurs. We do expect Gordon Cooper to talk to the crew via the Texas station. We'll stand by for this conversation. This is Gemini Control, Houston. The crew is attempting to establish radar lock-on with the Agena. It requires the work of both men, which probably accounts for the silence on the line.
Houston, this is Gemini 10. We're getting intermittent locks, and we're at a range of 240.7 right now. Roger, we copy.
California
I'll
local.
be steady on us from now on. Okay. You copy that, Houston?
Roger, 240.7 looks real good at this time.
Roger. Flight Wireless, that Crow 2 is really hanging in it now. It's about 840, I guess. Just about right.
Roger.
Computer TM Agena.
Go ahead.
You should have data by now.
Roger, let me check them.
Not out of the computer, we don't. It's coming out the ground station, but not out the...
There it is.
Ground says Agena, TMLOS.
Roger.
You can see the L-band switching flight. You can tell he's interrogating it.
Roger.
Okay, we've got data, TM, thank you.
Gemini LOS, all systems go, flight.
Roger, Guaymas.
10, Houston here.
This is 10, go.
Hi, Roger. I'll have your little data here shortly. Your constants are all good. And don't use your orbit rate torque and compensation. And it looks like you're doing all right on the range there. We had calculated 180 at 3 plus 18.
Roger, light's been on solid, 10 to 234.43.
Very good.
TM Airman.
I'll have an NSR update for you shortly.
Roger.
Have you purged already?
Go ahead, Aeromed.
Roger, we have a long dropout here.
Roger, I confirm it. Stand by one.
Roger. Roger, we got our biomed back. Thank you, sir.
Roger. Goddard did not have the line switched.
Oh, you better
10, I have the
slap your
Agena
wrist for
sunrise
that.
time for you.
Thank you.
10, go.
5 plus 17 plus 09.
Understand 5, 1709.
It's 5 plus 17 plus 09.
Roger. Acquisition turret, ground turret.
Readout Agena Electrical.
Go ahead, Agena Electrical.
Charlie 038.
That's reading 0.35%. Agena Electrical.
0.35%.
Roger.
Can you tell me what the PCM count is?
Roger, standby 1. We have a PCM count of 9.
PCM count of 9. Thank you.
Roger.
Readout Electrical.
Go ahead.
Was that based on a 255 PCM count?
That's affirmative.
Thank you.
10, could you go to H2 on your cryo readout? Switch.
Roger, on H2.
Roger. 10, I have your Coelliptic NSR data.
Roger, go.
Roger, GETB 3 plus 4, 7 plus 3, 4. $25 00 4 7 9. 26 is 9 0 0 6 5. 27 is zeros. Thrusters is aft. Posigrade up. And the pitch, yaw is 0. Pitch is 8 up.
Houston TM, this is electrical.
Go ahead, Electrical.
Did you get a readout on
Delta V 48.4. I've already given you that. Burn time 1 plus 05.
What was the parameter again?
CA09, H2 quantity?
Roger, we copy. 3 up 34. 1 plus 05 time. 25. 00 47.9.
PCM counts.
26 9 00 65. 27th all zip, zap pause, grade 8 degrees up. Delta V 48.4.
Roger.
AOS Antigua.
You can go back to O2 on your cryo read switch. 10.
Roger.
Houston TM, this is electrical.
Go ahead, Electrical.
Could I get a reading on CA09, O2 quantity?
Roger, we're reading 92%.
Roger. Houston TM electrical.
Go, Electrical.
What PCM count did that correspond to?
236.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, 10, this is Houston. Agena has TDA north. All the loads are nominal and checked out. SPC is disabled, and it's all ready for you.
Roger. Roger, back wind position, grand turn.
This is Gemini Control Houston. You heard Gordon Cooper brief the Gemini 10 crew on the status of the Agena 10. The crew reported intermittent lock that appeared to work itself into a solid lock at approximately 240 nautical miles. They were also advised that their terminal phase initiation point would move up about 2 minutes earlier than the earlier calculations. This also has meant a small movement in the Coelliptic maneuver. Time approximately a little more than a minute earlier than the value quoted some 2 hours ago. The time of the Coelliptic maneuver now is 3 hours, 47 minutes, 34 seconds into the flight. The spacecraft now is moving across the northeast coast of South America, and we do not expect any further communication in this pass. This is Gemini Control, Houston. This is Gemini Control, Houston, 3 hours, 30 minutes into the flight. The Rosenaught Victor, parked down off the southeast coast of South America, has had its first opportunity to talk with the crew tonight, and the conversation went like this.
Delta Fox 12, Delta Fox 1.
Delta Fox 1, Delta Fox 12, go ahead.
Roger, would you give me a short test count, please? Let me listen to the circuits.
Delta Fox 12, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Delta Fox 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
AFD just got a voice. We just talked to them on voice data. They advised no Capcom on site.
RKV shows the Agena is go.
Roger, RKV.
RKV is PM solid, Gemini.
Roger, RKV.
Flight RKV, I'm showing the cryo O2 Bravo Alpha 07 reading 960 PSI meter.
960.
That's right, your cam out at 974.
So it's going down now?
Oh, we'll check it again here in a little bit. Gemini 10 RKV. Gemini 10, go. Roger, we have nothing further for you this time. We're just standing by. So you go. Dead, Roger.
RKV flight, get that O2 pressure.
Roger, stand by. Still reading 960 on the meter.
So it's holding steady, is it?
Affirmative, flight. Holding 970 on the cam.
Roger. Let me know what that O2 pressure reads in another minute, RKV.
Roger.
RKV, do the currents reflect that the manual heater is on?
Stand by one. We'll cam it out here, Clay.
Say again?
We'll cam it out here.
Right, your summary here reflects that the heater is off, so you'd expect that pressure to start dropping a little bit.
Total current is 50.3 amps.
Roger, that confirms it's off. What's the pressure reading now?
Okay, the O2 is dropped down at 951 on 12 down at cam.
Roger. RKV flight.
Go ahead, flight RKV.
We are going to have an update on NSR form, but we'll let the Capcom do that through Ascension.
Roger, I'll inform you.
Okay.
10 RKV, you'll have an update on the NSR, and you'll be updated over Ascension. Good, Roger.
10, this is Houston. Roger, 10, Houston, I have a Coelliptic update for you. Roger, GETB. 3 plus 4, 7 plus 3, 4. 25, 0, 0, 4, 8, 1. 26, 9, 0, 0, 7, 6. 27 is zips. Half thrusters, posigrade up. 1 plus 0, 5. And that's yaw 0 and 9 up on pitch. Okay. Houston standing by.
Delta Fox 12, Delta Fox 1, you can put your UHF
This is
back.
Gemini Control, Houston. The acquisition rings on the Rosenaught Victor and Ascension overlap each other. As you probably followed there, the pass started off talking via the Rosenaught Victor, then Gordon Cooper came in remoted through the Ascension station. Our next contact will be via Tananarive at 3 hours 43 minutes into the flight, about 7 hours from now. And shortly after leaving the Tananarive circle, the crew will perform their NSR burn or their Coelliptic maneuver to place them in the right ellipticity in order to rendezvous with the Agena 10. This is Gemini Control, Houston. This is Gemini Control, Houston. 3 hours, 44 minutes into the flight. And at this point in the flight, Gemini 10 lags the Agena target vehicle by approximately 100 nautical miles. Buzz Aldrin has relieved Gordon Cooper temporarily at the capsule communicator position. He just checked in with the 10 spacecraft via Tananarive, told them that we were standing by on the ground, and apparently the crew had nothing for the ground. They simply rogered the communication. It's worth noting that once we achieve this rendezvous point, which should occur according to present estimates at 5 hours, 8 minutes into the flight, the rendezvoused vehicles will lead the Gemini 8 by some 2,800 nautical miles. The Agena 8 is in a 217 by 215 orbit. This is Gemini Control, Houston. This is Gemini Control, Houston. 3 hours, 59 minutes into the flight. We've had no acquisitions since Tananarive. The next station to acquire will be the coastal center Quebec, parked out north of the Philippines. They'll be seeing the combination for the first time tonight. That acquisition to come at 4:07, or about 7 minutes from now. We do have a brief conversation recorded via the Tananarive station. Buzz Aldrin talking to the crew, and here it is.
Tananarive, go remote. Tananarive remote. Tananarive has acquisition.
Gemini 10, this is Houston, standing by at 10 Anna Reeve.
July 10, roger.
Go ahead.
Gemini 10, Houston, standing by for whether your burn was radar, NSR, or ground solution, and residuals.
Roger, the radar and the NSR were approximately the same numbers, certainly. And we've done a combination of the two because there's something wrong with address 26 here. We have a residual that's not supposed to be there.
Roger, understand. Could you give us some estimate as to what the burn was?
Roger, we've got 6 foot per second up and 48.
Roger, understand. 6 feet per second up and 48 forward.
Banana Reeve has LOS.
This is Gemini Control Houston, 4 hours, 14 minutes into the flight. We're about 22 minutes away from our next maneuver, which will be the terminal phase initiate maneuver, a 33.8 delta V foot per second burn. Over the CSQ in the past 5 minutes, John Young has been carrying on a running conversation with the controller aboard the Coastal Centric Quebec. They're interested in solving a problem that seems to be, that has turned up in core 26 of the computer on board. During the past, just previous to this, Young noted that an improper value came out of that particular address on the computer. People here on the ground have been looking at the situation. They think they can't explain it. They asked that a certain set of numbers be put in to find out precisely what's wrong. Here's how the conversation went.
Art, CSQ, AFD, you're receiving a special now? Okay, that's the message you need.
Roger. Center TM contact Gemini.
Roger, RKV, did you get our messages?
Roger, the last one is printing it out now.
Okay.
Gemini 10, CSQ. CSQ, Gemini 10, over. Roger, we have you go here on the ground. Roger, we're going up here. Okay, I have a procedure here for you on your problem on the address 26. Roger, go. Okay, we'd like for you to enter into address 9er 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. And we'd like the value of the residual in address 26. Roger. You want to do that right now, huh? Well, I'll read the next line of the procedure to you. Then we'd like for you to enter all zeros in address 26 and attempt readout. Depress start comp and see if IVI is 0. Roger. We're right in the middle of a rendezvous here. You sure you want to do that now?
Have a minute of logic choice, that's all.
Stand by. Begin flight.
Have a minute 99.
Okay. Just enter the 99. Just enter the value into address 99. Alright. And I have the terminal phase backup for you when you're ready to copy. Roger, go. 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. right. 26.7 up. Range and range rate are valid at 2 minutes and 10 seconds prior to TPI. Roger. We copy. Roger.
CSQ flight. Q flight.
Go flight.
Let them know that logic choice. Let them know the reason we want to put that in is that it may have to be reset from the previous loaded module. We're putting it in there to be sure that we don't have the orbit rate compensation in.
You're putting it in to make sure you don't have the orbit rate compensation?
Affirm.
Gemini 10 CSQ. 7010 go. Okay, the reason we're putting this 99 in at this time is to make sure you don't have the orbit rate compensation in. Roger. No, we never entered that. Over. Roger. Gemini 10 CSQ. Your cryo O2 pressure's down to about 640 and dropping. You might ought to keep an eye on it. And Roger, we're watching it. We have about 1 minute to LOS flight.
CSQ, make sure he did put that address in. 99.
Roger. Gemini 10 CSQ, have you entered address 99 yet? Roger, we entered it. Roger, thank you. They haven't entered flight.
Roger, I copy. Are you getting the Agena tape dump?
Say again, flight?
Are you getting the Agena tape dump?
Roger, we've completed the Agena dump.
Okay.
We have LOS, both vehicles.
Roger, you send all your summaries, Gary?
Stand by. We've got most of them sent. There's a few Agena ones left.
Keep sending.
They're on their way.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control Houston. Just 4 minutes ago, John Young reported over Hawaii that he had the Agena 10 target in sight out his window. He was looking at it through the reticle, of course, which allows for some magnification. Both he and the spacecraft, he and the Agena, were in a daylight area. They will shortly enter a night cycle. The terminal phase initiation maneuver is 4 minutes away from now. Calling for a foot per second delta V of 34.6. And the terminal phase final maneuver is now predicted at 5 hours, 6 minutes, and 15 seconds into the flight. Here's how the conversation is going over Hawaii.
Agena S-band track. Agena TM solid.
Roger.
And we have Gemini TM solid Hawaii. Gemini 10 Hawaii. Gemini 10 go. How you doing? Just fine. Okay, you're looking pretty good down here. We won't have anything for you. We'll be dumping your telemetry, that's about all. Roger. We're indicating we're about 2 miles slow here. 2 miles slow? 2 miles low at Delta 8. Okay. Okay, fine. Hey, tell me they were predicting 1 mile low prior to your last burn. Roger.
Hawaii from flight.
Got flight.
You going to be able to get that timer reset in?
That's already done.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like you've pumped up your O2 there about 900 PSI. Roger, and we can see the target out the window now. Very good. Flight away.
Go.
Yeah, you can see the target out the window, and the tape dump looks real good.
Roger, copy.
You're in territory. He's about half a degree right in the reticle, and he's right on it pitch. Really good. He's really hacking it, huh?
those attitudes tight, I'll tell you that. Pitch up about 25 degrees.
About 22.
You're reading better than my meter. To be exact, it's 23.1. Flight away.
We'd like to update the GETB of our TPI backup.
Oh.
We'd like to update it to 4 plus 34 plus 05.
Okay, you fade it out. 4 what?
4 plus 34 plus 05.
You're dying out of me, flight.
Try it again. 4 plus 34 plus 05.
I can't read you. Try one more time.
04 plus 34 plus 05.
I got that, flight. 10 away.
10 go.
Okay, I got a new GETB of your TPI backup.
Roger, go.
4 plus 34 plus 05.
Roger.
Okay. Flight away. How do you read now?
I read you loud and clear, Ed.
You're loud and clear now. You were just dying right off in the middle of it. He's got the backup time and
Right.
we've completed the tape dump.
His new ET-NSR is 46 plus 31.
Oh, Roger. Got a new ET-NSR for you.
Roger, go.
46 plus 31.
Roger.
And we have Agena S-band LOS.
Control Houston. 4 hours, 46 minutes into the flight. And we can assume now the crew has completed their terminal phase initiate maneuver. Terminal phase final to occur at 5 hours, 6 minutes into the flight. A maneuver calling for a 48.5 foot per second burn. And the next acquisition should be by the Rosenot Victor at 4 hours and 56 minutes, about 9 minutes from now. Meanwhile, we've been advised of a slight accident with an aircraft involving 2 of our pilots. Neither of them hurt, we're happy to note. A T-38 piloted by Ed White and Rusty Schweikert went off the end of a runway at El Paso International at 7:45 Central Standard Time. The 2 were taking off at the time. They had stopped at El Paso for gas. They were en route to Los Angeles. In the takeoff, it seems they lost an afterburner on the T-38. And they tried several times to relight it, but could not get it to relight. And then they started braking severely, and they rolled approximately 50 feet off the end of the runway. Neither pilot was in any way hurt. They're continuing their trip to Los Angeles via commercial air. We have now the tape, a brief tape conversation via Guaymas. We'll play it for you now.
Guaymas has TM solid, both vehicles.
Roger.
They're both go flight.
Roger.
Negative. Go flight.
Let me know as soon as you see the burn.
Roger, flight. We haven't seen any indication at all yet. Still no indication, flight. We're showing a little attitude control, flight. Maybe he's setting up for it now.
Yeah, I believe he has already burned it.
Evidently. You want to ask about it?
Guaymas, send another main, please.
Roger, flight.
The
Gemini.
propellant summary, the...
Main torrent way.
California has LOS, California local.
Guaymas from flight, we have an Agena main.
Roger.
Climax flight, another Gemini main.
Another Gemini main.
Do we have OBCs every 100 seconds?
Roger, flight. We're about 30 seconds from LOS.
Yes.
Roger, one.
Flight, Climax.
Go ahead.
Okay, we've had LOS now. Have you guys been watching that main bus voltage on Agena? It seems to be dropping just a little bit everywhere else. We're down to 25.7 at LOS.
Okay.
This is Gemini Control Houston, 4 hours, 59 minutes into the flight. And we're about 6 minutes away from our terminal phase final maneuver. We also have a little additional information on that aborted takeoff out at El Paso involving Ed White and Rusty Schweikert. It seems the crew lost the afterburner in their roll for takeoff. They tried twice to relight the afterburner, and at that point they got a compressor stall in the engine, which is what caused them to abort the takeoff. They then applied the brakes, and in applying the brakes they blew both tires on the T-38. They also lost a nose wheel, apparently flattened as the spacecraft rolled off the runway. It did not overturn. It stayed upright, and I want to emphasize again, there were no injuries to either pilot. They're continuing their flight to LA by commercial means. I'm sorry, I called it a spacecraft and I should have called it an airplane. The spacecraft called Gemini 10 is now over the Rosnot Victor. And the crew is advising they've got a good radar lockup. I'm sorry, the Rosnot Victor controller is advising that both vehicles are go. Let's tune in on this conversation as it transpires.
We're showing the encoder as being off.
Say again, you're seeing the encoder is off?
Negative, flight. We do not show an encoder lock.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control Houston. We're standing by, and assuming that the crew will call us, we will not call them as they prepare for their terminal phase final maneuver, scheduled slightly less than 2 minutes from now. We'll go back and monitor. This is Gemini Control Houston. Anticipating a successful rendezvous and docking here, our display, our computer solution shows that the first primary propulsion burned with the docked vehicles is to occur at 7 hours 38 minutes into the flight. This will be a burn requiring a delta V of feet per second of 420. This would drive them up to an altitude of with an apogee of approximately 407 nautical miles. That maneuver at 7:38 elapsed time, 420 foot per second burn. This is Gemini Control standing by while I think we now have wrapped up the RKV pass. Tenerife will be the next station to acquire. And that acquisition is to come at 5 hours 17 minutes, some 12 minutes from now. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 5 hours 14 minutes into the flight. We've had no contact since the RKV pass. In comparing notes with the flight director here, he says he expects the crew will be station keeping when we next acquire via Tenerife. That acquisition is scheduled for 5 hours and approximately 18 minutes, or 3 minutes from now. During this final approach on the Agena, Mike Collins' work, of course, which has largely involved the computer for the last 3 or 4 hours, will go over to sending commands to the Agena. The first few commands he is to send, one at 500 feet range, to turn off the acquisition lights, and he will disable the stored program controller. Meanwhile, John Young will be nulling his approach rate until he gets it down to on the order of 0.5 feet per second when they finally achieve a station-keeping position. His flight plan also calls for him to start a 16-millimeter camera to record the final approach. We have no additional contact from the flight. As I say, we should have it very shortly. We'll come back to you when we raise the spacecraft. This is Gemini Control Houston. Gemini Control Houston, Tenerife has acquisition now. Gordon Cooper has put in his first call to the spacecraft. He has not yet got an answer. We'll stand by and monitor this transmission.
Houston.
Systems, Houston. Tim, do you see that burn yet?
I got my man looking at it. Let me check with him.
This is Gemini Control Houston. All we're getting is dead air and no voice signal from Gemini 10. We've also got some cross circuits on our line today, so you'll have to forgive those.
Somebody has not seen the burn yet. A couple more minutes remain.
Okay, roger.
This is Houston. Roger, you station keeping.
This is Gemini Control Houston. We're still standing by. Gordon Cooper has put in another call. He's got no response. This is Gemini Control Houston. Cooper has established voice contact with Young. He said simply, "Are you there yet?" And Young said, "Roger, we're there." This would indicate to us that they are station keeping and closing on the Agena, probably very slightly. That transmission came through at 5 hours, 21 minutes into the flight. The flight plan calls for the actual docking to take place, assuming that everything is right on both vehicles, shortly after 6 hours elapsed time. Still no more conversation, although we have several minutes of the pass left. This has to be one of the most untalkative space flights to date. It had that had been in the planning, largely to see if the crew could perform much of their work on board. When the solutions didn't compare favorably, of course, it was decided to take the ground solution. But the crew in general has remained altogether quiet through this first 4 revs. We can only recall hearing from Mike Collins on 2 or 3 occasions.
What's your range now, 10? What's your range now?
About 40 feet.
Okay.
This is Gemini Control Houston. In all that static, I hope you can make out Gordon Cooper asking John Young what his range was. Young came back and said about 40 feet, about 40 feet. This is Gemini Control standing by.
Computer TM, GNC.
Go ahead, GNC.
GCO1 low limit.
10, did you get the Agena C-band off and leave the S-band on?
GCO1 to 2.20
on the low limit.
2.20.
Roger.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control Houston. We expect now no additional conversation via Tananarive. The crew broke into the sunlight on a elapsed time of about 5 hours and 17 minutes into the flight, which put them in good position to acquire their target. They, of course, saw it before they went into the last night side leading up to this rendezvous. The CSQ should acquire the spacecraft. Tananarive has advised they have had loss of signal. Both vehicles were in good order when they lost that signal. The CSQ should acquire at an elapsed time of 5 hours and 40 minutes, or about 13 minutes from now. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston. We've had a slight little change in our flight plan here. The first docking maneuver is to take place now At an elapsed time of 5 hours 50 minutes into the mission, we presently show 5 hours 33 minutes into the flight. We expect a rather complete status report via the CSQ. We can hear the CSQ pretty well tonight, but they're having great difficulty in receiving our transmission. Of course, we're much more interested in theirs. As I said, the flight plan calls for the first docking to take place between 5:50 and 6 hours, to be followed by a bending mode test. And a little later, at 7 hours 38 minutes into the flight, the first burn with the docked Agena. The duration of the burn is to be 12.17 seconds. And the total delta V will be 413.9 feet per second. That's with the big Agena engine, a 16,000-pound thrust engine. This will put us in an apogee altitude of 409 nautical miles, 409 nautical. It would convert to about 470 statute. This is Gemini Control at Houston. This is Gemini Control at Houston. Our CSQ flight controller reports that he has solid telemetry contact with both vehicles. He reports them quite stable. We have no position report as yet. There's the first voice call up. And John Young advises that everything's going okay. He says we're just about ready to dock. Let's cut in on this conversation. Houston here. That's almost predictable when we expect this crew to talk. That's it. It's coming very short spurts tonight. The flight plan, as we pointed out, calls for the docking maneuver to start at 5:50, although it is pretty much crew option. They will align their platform first and do a very careful electric charge monitor test prior to docking. Now we've got more conversation. Let's go back.
On and the S-band off, over. There should be S-band on, C-band off. Roger. We show them both off this time.
Okay, turn the S-band on. S-band on is
the S-band on command is 010. Roger, we sent it. Roger, we show it.
CSQs look all right for docking?
Roger, everything looks good here, flight.
Okay, tell him looks okay for docking, and is he into the charge monitor test yet?
I'll check. 10 CSQ. 10 go. Roger, everything on the ground looks good for docking. Have you started the discharge monitor test yet? Negative, we're starting it now. Roger.
CSQ flight at Gemini Main.
Roger.
CSQ, we need Agena Main also.
Roger.
This is Houston. We're still standing by for any additional reports. The Gemini 10 spacecraft is equipped to read out any electric charge difference between the two vehicles, if any actually exists. Once the two vehicles are docked, the plan is to perform a bending mode check over the Hawaii station, wherein the spacecraft will yaw around 180 degrees, yaw the entire dock configuration, turn it around. The flight director is talking to the CSQ flight controller again. Let's go back.
From checking the Agena maps, it looked like the electric charge monitor went on board. Okay, we'll have to get the TM points readout there from fast.
Okay, do you see him docked yet?
Negative.
CSQ flight.
Flight.
Would you get an RSDP readout of GCO 1 ohm source pressure?
Roger, will do. Flight CSQ.
Go ahead, CSQ.
GC01 is reading 1544 PSI.
1544 PSI.
Roger.
Is he docked yet?
Negative.
Did you get a quantity readout, ohms quantity readout?
Will do. Gemini 10 CSQ. Gemini 10 go. Roger, how's the docking? Roger, we're still a couple minutes away from docking over. Okay, could you give us a propellant quantity readout, please? Roger, we're reading 36%. 36? Roger. Thank you. You copy, flight?
Yeah, I sure did.
LOS -1. CSQ, we're 1 minute to LOS and standing by. 10, roger.
This is Gemini Control Houston. The flight controller you hear talking from the CSQ is Gary Scott, flight control engineer from the Manned Spacecraft Center here stationed out on the CSQ. All appearances now, the actual docking will not take place while we still have contact via CSQ. More likely take place between CSQ and Hawaii. The two vehicles are right on the eastern edge of the CSQ acquisition area at this time, and they should lose contact momentarily. At 5 hours, 50 minutes into the flight, this is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston. We're 5 hours, 59 minutes into the flight. At 5 hours, 58 minutes, the flight controller, Ed Fendel at Hawaii, reported that the two are docked. They are docked. We've had no voice contact with the crew as yet. However, they're reading out good telemetry on the ground at Hawaii. We'll come back as more information develops. Ed Fendel, the flight controller at Hawaii, has been talking with John Young. Young advised he did use his closed-loop solution to perform the rendezvous. As we said earlier, the two are docked at this time. He was queried specifically on the high usage of ohms fuel to accomplish the rendezvous, and John said he had no good explanation for it. But it just seemed to use a little more than planned, but he said he was a little surprised that it used as much as it did. According to our estimates, we should have something on the order of 680 pounds of fuel remaining. We have, instead of that, about 350 pounds. Based on everything we know right now, we can continue to do the major maneuvers and the other rendezvous planned for this flight, but it looks very much like we will have to curtail the experiment load. Here now is the tape conversation as the spacecraft passes over Hawaii. We're still in the Hawaii circle. Here it is.
And we're showing good solid Agena telemetry, and the vehicle is go. On the Agena. Gemini 10 Hawaii, Capcom. Gemini 10 go. Okay, first I got a couple of questions. What's the position of your TM control switch? TM controls in plan. Okay. Okay, I'd like a readout of ohm source helium pressure. Roger, the ohm source pressure is 1400 over. 1400, 1600, okay. An ohms prop quantity readout. Roger, it's 35%. How much?
35, Ed.
Okay, I got a couple other questions for you before we start. Roger. Okay, what kind of a solution did you use and what'd you think of it? We used 41 forward and 3 up. I thought it was a little swift, and subsequent closed loop solution showed that to be the case. Okay.
Was that his closed loop solution?
Was that your closed loop solution? That's okay. Did you send C-band command on? We turned, Roger, we sent C-band, we turned S-band on and C-band off, over.
That's correct.
You want the C-band turned on, over? Negative, we'd like you to just stay the way you are. Roger. Okay, you seem to have used a tremendous amount of fuel, propellant between the RKV and the CSQ. Did something different than ordinary happen? It just seemed like a tough braking thing, but I didn't seem like it used that much, over. Okay, we are ready for your bending moment test. Roger. Right away.
Ecom wants the adapter C-band on.
I've turned it on.
Okay.
We don't have any C-band track, but I did send it on.
Okay.
Why has C-band track? Inserting TX. Well, test mark, 3 seconds up. Roger. I'm going to send you a TX, you're going to get a light. Roger. Flight away.
Go.
Okay, he's in the middle of bending moment. We're showing 600 PSI. I'll talk to him on the cryo 2 when he gets done.
Roger.
The data on the solution he used and all that.
Roger.
And we're LOS -1 flight.
This is Gemini Control Houston. The crew has just reported they've completed the bending mode check, which involves a yaw left completely around 180. Apparently nothing untoward happened during this bending mode check. The spacecraft probably will lose signal with the ground here very shortly, and we'll have a fairly long quiet pass until we reach the Rosnod Victor, that acquisition to take place at 6 hours 32 minutes into the flight. We're presently reading 6 hours and 7 minutes. For at least the next half hour, there'll be a good deal of wondering here in the control center. Further attempts to explain the extraordinary use of fuel in the docking. As we stated earlier, it appears now we can go ahead with the planned maneuvers, the major maneuvers. It will undoubtedly mean some curtailment on experiment activity. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 6 hours, 25 minutes into this flight of Gemini 10. We've had no additional contact with the crew since the Hawaii pass. There, of course, has been a good deal of discussion on the fuel usage in the Rendezvous, and a lot of figures will be checked and compared with quantities given us by the spacecraft in later passes to try to come up with some better understanding of this usage. During the upcoming pass across the Rosnod Victor, the crew will take a very careful dosimeter reading, a radiation reading. They have several active instruments on board with which they can take a reading, and the plan is that this would be compared with a later reading once they're at the higher altitude after their Agena burn. Over the Rosnod Victor also, the velocity meter, which will be a key element in this big engine Agena burn, will be loaded with a proper value. The 420 feet per second is the velocity change. This will be achieved by a little bit more than a 12-second burn on the Agena engine. That maneuver is to occur at 7 hours 38 minutes. This is Gemini Control Houston. Tananarive should reacquire the spacecraft at 6 in a lapse time of 6 hours 53 minutes, about 7 minutes from now. However, if the communications from Tananarive are no better than they have been in the 2 earlier passes tonight, it should not be a very productive pass. We've had unusually high static in trying to contact the spacecraft via Tananarive. Following Tananarive, the coastal central Quebec will acquire at 7 hours 16 minutes into the flight, and we should get a very clear assessment of the situation at that point. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 6 hours 56 minutes into the flight. The Tananarive station has raised Gemini 10. Gordon Cooper put in a call, and the only item of business they've discussed to date was a dosimeter reading. Gordon asked him what the dosimeter read as he went through the South Atlantic anomaly, and John Young reported nothing. He came back a little later and said 0. We have this on tape. We're still in range of Tananarive. We may have additional conversation, but here's how it started.
Tananarive, go remote. Tananarive, remote.
10, Houston here. Oh, Roger. One little reminder on the PPS burn, there will be a 6 foot per second tail off after you get velocity cut off. And we didn't get one of those VD readings over RKV. Could you give us one? We need one of those dosimeter readings sometime along about there. Okay, very good. Right.
This is Gemini Control Houston. We're right at 7 hours into the flight, 7 hours even. And apparently we'll have no additional conversation via Tananarive. We have been advised here by the flight director that it's very likely now that we will exercise an option available to us, a pre-planned option, after the big PPS burn and after the sleep period tomorrow. It looks very much now like we would remain docked to the Agena during the stand-up EVA exercise tomorrow afternoon. That exercise to come at roughly 23 hours into the flight. The idea here will be that we'll use the Agena propulsion system for small tweak maneuvers and some ancillary burns that must accompany that period just before the stand-up EVA. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 7 hours 14 minutes into the flight of Gemini 10. And within the next several minutes, the coastal central Quebec should acquire the spacecraft. It's now off the Indo-China Peninsula, and we've had no contact since Tananarive. At this point in the flight plan, or just before CSQ acquisition, the crew is to take another dosimeter reading. This is another contrast with the opposite side of the South Atlantic anomaly. They're exactly halfway around the world from that point, and this data will be carefully calibrated. And for approximately the last 5 minutes, the flight controller in Hawaii, Ed Fendel, has been comparing notes with the flight control team here in Houston, analyzing every maneuver involved in this primary propulsion system burn, which should happen within the Hawaii area of acquisition. That burn is scheduled for 7 hours, 34 minutes, and 50 seconds into the flight. It'll drive the spacecraft up to an apogee of 406 nautical miles. It'll have a perigee of approximately 160 miles. Still no contact with the CSQ. We'll come back when we have some. This is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 7 hours, 26 minutes into the flight. The Coastal Centric Quebec has talked with the crew in the last few minutes, and we'll have that tape conversation for you. Of interest is the fuel budget and how it was expended during these last maneuvers leading up to the rendezvous. After the terminal phase initiate maneuver, there was 743 pounds of fuel remaining aboard the spacecraft. And after the terminal phase final maneuver, there were 358 pounds remaining. And we're still reading in that same ballpark, 350 to 358 pounds. Here's the conversation as it occurred between the CSQ and Gemini 10.
Transmitting Gemini TM on. Gemini 10 CSQ. Roger, I'm going to transmit you a TX. We'd like for you to turn your encoder switch off so we can check your VM load. Okay, the VM load looks good. Roger. Okay, we confirm VM mode is indirect. Yes, up everything. Roger, we confirm that the VM mode is to direct. Roger. I'm standing by for your SDT readout. Main is 58 seconds, the secondary is 3 minutes and 27 seconds, and attitude gas is 85%. Roger, I copy. You can turn your encoder back on when you're ready. It's back on. We'd like for you to watch your primary O2 tank pressure. Roger. Thank you. Okay, everything looks good for the burn except you're not to FC6s yet. Roger, we're going at 720 over. Roger.
Go ahead.
Roger. Roger, we have confirmed it on the ground. Flight CSQ, have you copied what you've been saying?
I missed the main time on the SDT.
5 or 8 seconds.
Say again?
5, 8 seconds.
5, 8 seconds, Roger. 3 plus 27 and 85%.
Roger, and he is now in FC6 and he's go for the burn.
Roger. TDA forward.
Say again?
TDA forward.
Affirmative.
SQ flight.
Flight.
Verify shoulder harness with the crew. Verify the shoulder harness restraint with the crew.
I couldn't copy what you was asking me to verify.
Verify that the crew has put on their shoulder harness for the burn.
Roger, understand. CSQ. Roger, have you fastened all your restraint harness? Roger, we're tightened down. Roger, understand.
KSQ flight, LOS main, Gemini.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control Houston, 7 hours, 35 minutes into the flight. The Hawaii station has acquired the two vehicles. The ground readings show they look good, according to Ed Fendel, the prime flight controller there. He has given them a go for their dock burn. We're standing by for that burn. The burn itself is to take some 14 seconds, and as somebody said here, don't blink or you'll miss it. It's all quiet here in the control center as we wait any further information from Hawaii.
You're looking real good. You're holding the attitude real fine. Roger, the attitudes have been real fine on this machine. No disparity between ours and theirs. Very good. In about 30 seconds to my 1 minute.
John Young advises that the attitudes are holding very well on the both vehicles. No unexpected slosh at all. We're something under a minute away from the burn. And again, Fendel reassures the flight director, Glenn Lunny, here that everything looks real good and recommends we proceed with the maneuver. The orbit requested is shows 410 nautical mile apogee, a perigee of 160. The secondary propulsion system has been initiated, and it's looking good according to Hawaii. Hawaii reassures us that everything looks okay. And the big engine has initiated. The big engine is firing.
Plus 3 degrees in yaw.
Showing 3 degrees in yaw.
Cut off. That's shut down.
And the primary propulsion system has shut down.
GPS stop. Pitch was about normal. Uninverted and curved. 10 away.
And Fendel has just called the crew, and John Young came back. That was really something.
You're trying to tell me something.
We got a real spectacular tail-off going right now, Young reports. A tail-off. This was this was to go on for perhaps a second and a half. The burn seemed to be right on time, a total duration of about 14 seconds, including the tail-off. And apparently we have achieved the 410 nautical mile apogee, and we show a perigee of 160. This will be refined with additional tracking data later. Meanwhile, let's play this tape, which as soon as we can roll it back here, sort of replay the whole situation.
Go ahead with your VM disable. We got your flight control mode 6.
Tape.
Looking ahead, but came right back on.
Young is being queried now on how the attitudes looked during that big engine burn, and he said he noticed a little yaw right, but then they steadied out and held right on the planned value. He's reading computer addresses out now. I believe we have the tape ready, and we'll start playing that.
Okay, we've got C-band track. Gemini.
Roger.
And we're getting intermittent telemetry on both vehicles.
Roger.
on FC7.
Roger, FC7.
Both vehicles are go.
Roger.
And the attitudes are good. We're going to give them a go.
Roger.
Gemini 10, Hawaii, Capcom.
Gemini 10, go. We're in FC7, over.
Okay, I'm going to send you a TX. Mark.
Roger, we got it.
Okay, you're looking real good. We're giving you a go for the burn. I'll give you a time hack at 1 minute prior to your GETB.
Roger.
Having a little trouble with the Gemini telemetry. The Agena's real solid. He looks good. Holding the attitude's real fine.
Roger.
Okay, we're solid on both vehicles. And doctor says they're real stable on the rates. You're looking real good. You're holding the attitude real fine.
Roger, the attitudes have been real fine on this machine. No disparity between ours and theirs.
Very good. Got about 30 seconds to my 1 minute mark. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 1 minute. And we'll stand by and watch you go. Okay, flight, he looks real fine, ready to go.
Roger, we're copying.
Start C. SPS ready. SPS initiate. Attitudes are looking great.
Roger.
Just a little roll, but he's okay.
Roger.
Drop ISO valve is open. DPS initiate.
Roger.
Plus 3 degrees in yaw.
Roger.
Yeah, DM cut off.
DM cut off.
That shut down.
Roger. What kind of attitude excursion did you get in pitch?
DPS stop. Pitch was about normal. Gonna go to the crew.
Roger.
10 away.
That's really something.
Pretty wild, huh?
When that baby lights, there's no doubt about it.
You're trying to tell me something.
We got a real spectacular tail-off going right now.
Okay, don't send recorder off yet.
Roger. Status display panel's looking good.
Roger. Okay, go ahead with your flight control mode 6 now and continue on down. Just don't send the recorder off. Let me know when you get to that point.
Roger.
Go ahead with your VM disable. We got you in flight control mode 6.
Roger.
Okay, just hold off now on your recorder off. We'll get the tail off and then you can go ahead on with what you have to do.
Flight from flight.
Flight away.
Why don't you ask him how he felt the attitudes went?
Okay. How'd you feel the attitudes went during the burn?
Right on. It yawed a little over to the right, looking ahead, or to the left looking ahead, but came right back on.
That's firm. We showed you plus 3 degrees on yaw.
Roger, our address 80 is 00011. Address 81 is 00133. Address 82 is minus 008.
Okay, 80 0011, 81 00133, 82 minus 008.
0008 over on 82 over.
Okay. Okay, standing by for your TM off now. Okay, we got your telemetry back. Gemini LOS, Agena LOS on Hawaii.
This is Gemini Control Houston. The data from Hawaii on that big engine burn has been refined, and the flight dynamics officer advises the burn went extremely well. He gave us an orbit of 411.9 nautical miles, apogee, perigee 160 nautical miles. This would convert to about 462 statute on top. We may have some slight out of plane in the burn, which you heard Young mention, a 3 degree yaw right error This is not pinned down precisely yet, but it looks like something on the order of 10 to 11 feet per second needed to correct the out of plane. Certainly an acceptable error. At 7 hours, 48 minutes into the flight, this is Gemini Control Houston. This is Gemini Control Houston, 8 hours, 9 minutes into the flight of Gemini 10. We should reach our new apogee point, that of 411.9 nautical miles, at approximately 20 minutes from now, or about 8:31 elapsed time. The perigee, of course, will be in the area of Hawaii, actually be about 15 degrees west of Hawaii on this next rev. And we have established contact within the last few minutes via the Rosenau Victor. We'll give you that conversation now.
Gemini 10 RKV. Go. Roger, would you turn the encoder off so we can command the Agena tape dump? Roger, encoder's off. Roger. Yes, that's the last burn for this evening. That's affirmative. That was very spectacular. The tail-off in particular. Roger, understand. It lasted, for a good 30 seconds. And, right at sunset. Very, very pretty pictures. I hope we got some of them. Roger, your burn looked real good on the ground. Your orbit is now 411 by 160. And right for a TX. Okay, Gemini 10, I'd like to have a dosimeter reading, please. Roger, it reads 04 rad, and rate, the dose rate is below 1/10 of a rad per hour. Roger. Could you give me the STP meter readings, please? Roger, the main time reads 45.5 seconds. Secondary time is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Attitude gas is 80%. Roger, I copy. Stand by for a TX. Marked. By for a TX. Marked. Again. The O2, crew O2 pressure is 979. Okay. Gemini 10, I'd like you to perform a Vox check during this pass, if you would. Roger, going to Vox.
You're off, RKV. Manual heater.
Stand by, let him get these on Vox, over.
RKV AFD.
Mounted on the overhead panel about 6 inches from my head, over. Roger. And going back to O2 heaters auto when you're through with the manual. Roger, we're through with the manual and air and auto. Roger, you can start your fuel cell purge, section 2 first, and then section 1. Roger, we're purging now.
Got the tape dump going?
AFP RKV, go.
Roger, do you have the tape dump going?
The tape dump is done.
Okay, now, can you confirm by the currents that he's in the auto position?
Stand by one. The last burn for the night. We could go ahead and put this thing in FC1. What do you think, over? You want him to go to FC1?
Roger.
Roger, that's, all right, Gemini 10. Go to FC1. Roger.
Get some cryo readouts also.
Roger, what's in the crowd? Total current is 45.1 amp. You copy.
Roger, it's off.
Gemini 10 RKV, would you turn the encoder off, please? Roger, encoder off. Okay, dump complete at the RKV.
Roger, RKV.
Gemini 10, you can turn your encoder back on. Yeah, Roger, encoder comes on. Okay, Gemini 10, would you go to your cryo switch to the O2 position? Roger, O2. Gemini 10, cryo switch to H2. And H2. Okay, you can turn your cryo switch off. I'll switch on. Roger, and you can begin powering down your spacecraft this then. Roger, we're back now.
RKV, would you read me your SDP readings?
RKV, go.
Roger, read me your status display readings again.
You're unreadable, AFD.
Okay, let me just send you a post pass.
AFD, would you say again?
Send us a message.
All right. Can you read me real good, and I can pass this information on to you?
Okay, all I want is you to reconfirm the status display panel readouts.
He was real clear when he came in. I can confirm with him again if you want.
No, I just want you to read them to me, the ones you copied.
Main time, 45 minutes, 30 seconds. Set time, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Attitude gas, 80%.
Give me the main time again.
Main time, 45 minutes, 30 seconds.
You can't have any minutes in that.
Say again?
You can't have minutes on your main time. We started out with 58 seconds. Like 4 or 5 seconds.
Let me confirm it with him again.
There you go.
Gemini 10 RKV, would you confirm the main time on your SDP?
And get that other dosimeter reading.
Still have 3 minutes to LOS. 10 RKV, would you confirm the main time, please? Roger. 45 and a half seconds. Roger, understand. 45 and a half seconds.
Roger.
Roger.
We
That
copy.
was 45 and a half seconds, AFD.
Roger, we copy.
Gemini 10 RKV, would you give me another dosimeter reading, please? RKV, would you give me another dosimeter reading, please? Rad dose. And the dose rate is still less than 1/10 rad per hour. Would you give me the number of rads again, please? 0.18 rads. Roger, understand 0.18 rads, and the rate is less than 1/10 rad per hour. That's affirmative. Roger, we have nothing further for you at this time. We're standing by.
RKV, AFD.
AFD, RKV.
We'd like to confirm that he's going to leave adaptive C-band continuous for the remainder of the night.
Roger. 10 RKV, we'd like to have you let the adapter C-band in continuous for the remainder of the evening. Roger, roger. LOS Gemini, a good solid drop out on my TX.
Roger, RKV, good pass.
LOS Agena.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control at 9 hours, 29 minutes, and 37 seconds after liftoff. Gemini 10, docked with the Agena, presently is over the Central Pacific nearing the end of the 7th revolution. Earlier in this revolution, during the pass over the Tananarive voice remoting station, there was some conversation between the spacecraft communicator Buzz Aldrin here in Mission Control and the Gemini 10 crew. Later in that revolution over the tracking ship Coastal Sentry, the spacecraft communicator reported that all systems looked good on the ground. He also passed up to the crew several planned landing area updates and also got a water gun readout of 195 counts from the crew. At 1 a.m. Houston time, the crew was scheduled to begin a sleep period. And a few moments ago, during the pass over the Hawaii tracking station, the spacecraft communicator Ed Findell out there said that the crew was resting quietly but not sleeping yet. We now have tapes of the pass over the Tananarive voice remoting station and the tracking ship Coastal Sentry that we will roll for you now.
Gemini 10, this is Houston. Gemini 10, this is Houston. Do you read? Roger, Gemini 10, this is Houston. Read you loud and clear. Gemini 10, this is Houston, over.
This is Gemini 10, go ahead, over.
Roger, we're wondering if your dosimeter is still snubbed.
No, it's not still snubbed. It's now reading .23 rad.
Understand, 0.23. Okay, it looks like the decay rate is less by a factor of about 10, and there's no sweat down here on that. Gemini 10, say again. Gemini 10, this is Houston, say again. Gemini 10, this is Houston. I didn't copy. Would you say again?
Roger. This Elo's here. Go through the earth.
10 Houston, I did not copy.
See that nice view up here. You can temperature the earth a little bit better.
Roger, understand. Gemini 10, this is Houston. Do you read me well enough to get part of a flight plan update, over?
Affirmative, we'll give it a try.
Roger, at 17 hours, 30 minutes, gyro compass Agena to TDA south. At 19 hours, 00 minutes, gyro compass Agena to TDA aft. Dual rendezvous burns planned at the following times. NH 2057. Delta V 336 feet per second. Retrograde. Plane change 215048. 15.7 feet per second south. Did you copy?
Roger. NH at 202057, 336 feet retrograde. NPC 215048, 15.7 feet per second south.
That's affirmative. NSR 223753. Delta V 84.4 feet per second. Posigrade. Plan to stay docked for tweak maneuvers. Over.
Roger. NH is 336 feet per second retrograde. NPC SBC, NSR 223753, 84.4 feet per second positive grade, and dock for clean maneuvers.
That's affirmative. 10 Houston, 336 feet per second. Altitude adjust.
Roger, 336 feet per second altitude adjust.
Roger, I think that's what you said before.
Banana Reeve has LOS. Banana Reeve local.
CSQ Capcom, Houston AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Okay, do you have our special on the PLA update?
Roger, just received it.
Okay, we want you to pass that PLA update to the crew this pass. We want you to tell them to bump up the O2 to 800 on board. That will be 960 ground rating.
Roger.
Tell them to turn the encoder off and get an Agena tape dump and a reset timer reset. Get the crew status report. That's changed with our DCI number 31.
Roger, I have it.
Okay, get SDP readings.
Roger.
And we'd like you to tell them that our ground computations agree with the propellant quantity remaining they have on board. You copy?
Roger.
Okay, and get a prop quantity reading.
Roger.
Do you have any questions?
Negative.
CSQ AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Okay, making a voice check. You should have acquisition in about 10 seconds.
We have it now. All systems look good.
Roger.
Gemini 10, CSQ. Gemini 10, CSQ. Gemini 10 is 0. Roger, could you turn your encoder switch off so we can get a Agena taped up? Roger, encoder off. Okay, I have a PLA update for you when you're ready to copy. Roger, go ahead with your PLAs up. Roger. 8-3, 1, 1, 5, 5, 3, 0. 2, 3, plus 3, 1. 2, 8, plus 1, 1. 9-0. Weather is good. 9 dash echo. 1, 3, 3, 4, 1, 0. 2, plus 1, 5. 2, 7, plus 4, 2. All bank angles will be 9-0. The weather is good. 1, 0, dash echo. 1, 5, 0, 8, 3, 7. 2, 2, plus 3, 0. 2, 7, plus 5, 2. Weather is marginal. 1, 1, dash alpha. 1, 6, 4, 3, 3, 9. 2, 2, plus 3, 4. 2, 7, plus 4, 6. Weather is poor. 1, 2, dash alpha. 1, 8, 2, 3, 2, 4. 2, 1, plus 1, 9. 2, 8, plus 1, 7. Weather is good. 1,
plus 5, 0. 3, 5, plus 3, 1. Weather is good. Roger, got your update. Okay, we'd like for you to have you to bust the cryo O2 pressure up to 800 psi on board. Roger. The ground computations on your propellant agrees with the spacecraft readout. Roger. And we'd like an onboard quantity readout at this time. Roger, it's reading about 32% now. Roger. Could I have your STP readout, please?
Center.
CSQ, AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Okay, did you send command 12 reset timer reset?
Roger, we can't see the status display panel blocks right now. The sun is too in the wrong direction. It's too right, over. Okay, we understand. But I don't think they changed much from last time. Roger, understand. Say again, AFD.
Did you send command 12 reset timer reset?
Roger, it's been sent.
Roger, thank you. CSQ, AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
How about the crew status report?
I was getting to that. I want to make sure we got the tape dump correct. 10 CSQ. Is 10 go? Roger, we're standing by for your crew status report. Roger, crew status is go. Roger, have you had anything to eat today? Just a couple of meals and some goodies we carry in our pockets. Roger, understand.
Get a water gun reading, CSQ.
10 CSQ, could you give us a water gun readout? Roger, it's 195 counts. Roger, copy.
CSQ, AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Was that 195 counts?
That's what I copied.
Roger, thank you.
10 CSQ, I'm going to send you a TX. Terry, Roger. 10 CSQ, we're through the tape dump. You can turn the encoder on when you like. Roger, thank you, CSQ. Encoder's back on. We have 1 minute to LOS and standing by.
CSQ, AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Okay, send us an Agena LOS A, Alpha, Bravo, and a main.
Roger, copy.
And a Gemini main.
That's a Gemini main?
A Gemini main, and a Agena main, and an Agena Alpha and Bravo.
Roger, we copy.
CSQ, AFD.
AFD, CSQ.
Okay, also send us a Gemini Bravo.
Roger, will do. I have LOS both vehicles.
Roger.
This is Gemini Control, 10 hours, 29 minutes, and 37 seconds after liftoff. Gemini 10 and its Agena in docked configuration are now over India. In the midpoint of the 7th revolution, the Coastal Sentry tracking ship will acquire the spacecraft in approximately 8 minutes. At the present time, the Gemini 8 Agena trails Gemini 10 by some 2,900 nautical miles with a closing rate of approximately 600 nautical miles per revolution. The present orbit of Gemini 10 stands at 413.6 nautical miles apogee by 160.2 nautical miles perigee. The present time, around the flight director console, there's a huddle of several people who are sorting out the flight plan items for the coming day's work, making adjustments in the flight plan. It includes Deke Slayton, astronaut Alan Bean, assistant flight director Charlie Harlan, spacecraft communicator Buzz Aldrin, Jeremy Jones, who's a flight plan specialist from the Flight Crew Support Division, and Mr. Chris Kraft. At 10 hours 30 minutes, as you were, at 10 hours 31 minutes after liftoff, this is Gemini Control. This is Gemini Control. 11 hours, 29 minutes, and 39 seconds after liftoff. Spacecraft Gemini 10 had just begun. Spacecraft Gemini 10 has just begun the 8th revolution and should be acquired by the tracking ship Rose Knot within a few seconds. Midway through the 7th revolution on the pass over the Coastal Sentry tracking ship, the spacecraft communicator out there reported that both vehicles looked real good. The flight surgeon aboard the Coastal Sentry believed that both the crewmen were asleep at that time. Heart rates were recorded aboard the Coastal Sentry, with the command pilot recording 55 to 60 and the pilot 48 to 60. The assistant flight director at the present time is relaying instructions to the spacecraft communicator aboard the Rose Knot. This will be a quiet pass in that the crew is still asleep at this time. At 11 hours 30 minutes and 42 seconds after liftoff, this is Gemini Control. This is Gemini Control at 12 hours 44 minutes and 38 seconds after liftoff. The crew of Gemini 10 at this time is about midway through the 8-hour sleep period. Meanwhile, the tracking ships Coastal Sentry and Rose Knot are feeling the pulse of the spacecraft and the crew during each pass, getting heart rates of the crew as well as the system status aboard the spacecraft. During the last revolution, just nearing its completion, that's the 8th revolution, the heart rates have been running around 70 for the command pilot and in the 60s for the pilot. The spacecraft at the present time is over the South Central Pacific, nearing the end of the 8th revolution. At 12 hours 45 minutes and 29 seconds after liftoff, this is Gemini Control.